All right, back at it. Took a little bit of a hiatus there. My last entry in my logbook here was April 2nd. So we started again 9/7. So a few months off, and it was a summer. And one of the reasons was I was kind of slowing down of riveting the bottom skin on because the technical inspector I wanted him to look inside, which was the last video. And then literally just lost my momentum. Did a little bit of real flying, went to Oshkosh and did some traveling overseas with the family, and kind of been trying to motivate myself to get going. And one of the things that didn't help is the fact that I have over 1,000 rivets to put in there, and just thinking about it makes my arm sore. But I said, what the hell? These were already all dimpled, cut, whatever, transfer drilled. So I started, I'm like, all right, let me line up the stainless steel rivets, and click, 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 did all that. Actually, I take that back. Before I started riveting, I actually peeled this part of the skin back and the far end of the skin back, and I put the level on the front and rear spar and just measured it again just to make sure that nothing went out of whack. I don't know, humidity in the summer or something, and I was happy to find out I was within 0.05 or whatever the lowest part of this digital scale is, and I flipped it around 3 or 4 different ways and always came up with similar results. So I think it's probably just the error of the scale, but that's good. And yeah, so here we are riveting the bottom skins. I guess this is permanent now. And then I went on and I did the 41s going up to here, and I basically made it up to the stringer, which I'll probably finish tomorrow. All right, hopefully this will get the ball rolling again. All right, so yesterday I got up until the stringer, and I finished the other side today with the 41s, and basically that's it. I'm leaving off the last 4 rows like the instructions say, and tomorrow I'm gonna match drill all those and put those in. And one little note I thought was funny, when I first built these benches, I built them 36 inches high because I'm a tall guy and that's comfortable for me to work on. But what I didn't take into consideration is that once the wing goes up to this level and it's another foot higher, and it's kind of cumbersome to reach over into the middle. I don't know, my arm hurts just from my line of work, and that's kind of one of the reasons I was really dreading this part. And I find myself on a milk crate. So 36 inches high for a bench is good, but maybe too high if you're doing that. All right, just put an hour in tonight, but at least it's something. So continuing on the bottom skin, trying to get back in the groove. Today's job is to drill all of these holes, transfer drill them, and then start in the middle, work your way out, and rivet all of these in. And then I'll rivet the inspection plate trim rings in. And before they do that, the instructions say to check one more time that there's no twist from either end in the wing. But because this is not 100% straight, what I did is I put the 4-foot level on that end, so it sits on the spar down there. And then I have these 2 pieces of mahogany. I don't know if you can tell, but I lined it up exactly with the crease in the main spar, and they're pretty accurate as far as the height goes. And I measured it in the middle, I'm sorry, at this end, on the inboard end, somewhere in the middle here where the truss is, and on the outboard end, and I was happy to report that they are exact. This angle is 0.65 degrees, but it's here in the middle and at the end, so it doesn't matter what the angle is as long as they're all the same. So even though I had some help from our guest student, Hazel, which was very kind, this still took forever. It certainly goes a lot quicker when you have two people, like one person putting in rivets, pulling out clecos, or vice versa. And so we got all this done, and I'm really kind of motivated right now. So we finished the rest of the ribs, you know, the last 4 rows that you had to leave off so you can lift it and clean it. And I was gung-ho to do all the inspection plates, but then I remember early on, like back in the spring when I was working on it, that they had to be in a certain position so something doesn't interfere. I think I have it correct here, because otherwise if this was there, the screw would hit right into the structure there. It's already 10:30, past my bedtime, and I think this is a good stopping point for tonight. What I'm going to do tomorrow is basically just double check to make sure these are all in the right position. And I always was questioning if this goes on top or below, but pretty sure at this point it goes on top. And I'll get the inspection plates in, and then the right wing will be done. Next up will be the left wing that has the Pitot mount as well. But pretty excited about this. Alright, next day. And I figured what was it? Orientate the inspection ring for mounting the Pitot static system. So that's going to be on the left wing. I'm working on the right wing. Orient the inspection hole tab ring for the flat bell crank, blah blah blah, so screws will not interfere with the bell crank mount. So basically we're looking at that, and that's what we got. So otherwise they would go right into the bell crank mount. And that's all I wanted to check. So now I am going to rivet in all the inspection holes. Inspection rings, plates. Gotta turn on the radio. The second wing, left wing, it's on the table. I got the skin laid on it, and I really wasn't sure what I was going to do tonight, because I was just going to brainstorm how to install the Pitot tube. We're not doing the RANS supplied one, we're doing the fancy Garmin one that's heated. And I, like a lot of other people, bought the Gretz bracket that comes with it, and the washer plate. Oh, sorry, this is the washer plate, and then the mounting plate. This is for a Vans, so it's supposed to attach to the spar. And I think I'm gonna do it like the S-21 builder, where I just make a bracket off of the side there onto this rib. But basically I'm just brainstorming. One thing I remembered I had to do on the other one, I had to open up this just a little bit. The tie-down hook, it's a little bit, just a tad bit tweaked this way, but it's the same on both wings, so I'm okay with that. I forget what the exact dimensions are, but this is like no, not even, like 1/32 more than a quarter. And I think I open it up to 1/32 less than 3/8. I'm metric, so bear with me. yeah, so I'm going to do that now. Just wanted to do a quick update on what I'm doing. I did get the landing light mounted already. And I'll let you know what I come up with for the bracket for the pitot tube. Alright, so I got this little guy opened up. Looks pretty uniform. I'm really happy with it. One thing that's hard to do, that little imperfection is actually on the side I didn't open up, is to get that radius to look uniform again. And yeah, you can use, you know, files and whatever, but usually don't have one that's the exact right size. So the little trick I did was basically just use a drill bit, because you have many different sizes available, and wrap a piece of emery cloth around it, and then you basically just can file out that edge to the radius that you need. And then now I got a better look at the pitot tube. The instructions say to mount it within the first 25% of the wing cord length, and the RANS one goes right into this hole here. So, you know, I'm just kind of like eyeballing this, like where would this look proper or correct. And I think I'm going to make it so the bracket is very similar, like maybe right here or just behind it. Give it support on the vertical part, and that way the tip of the pitot tube, the inlet, will be pretty close to where the RANS one is. So that's the plan. Here's the Garmin pitot tube that we're going to be using. So we're deviating from the instructions a little bit, and like I said this earlier, I got the Gretz mount that's for an RV, and kind of just duplicated that size and got some 40,000s aluminum. Of course, I had 60,000s and I had 20,000s, but I needed or wanted 40, so I ordered that. It took a couple of days to get in, and now I'm going to cut that out of this. This will then mount to that rib on the inside. I'll round over the corners and do a stress relief in the bend, and that's going to be kind of tonight's project. See how far we get. Well, that took a little longer than I wanted it to, but I drilled that out. I used that as a template and lined up the holes, and then basically made a pattern of every 1 1/4 inches. There'll be a drill for a rivet. This worked out pretty good here, and then I think I've decided I'm going to go right about here, so you can kind of get at it to this axis if you have to, and it'll be not too far too forward, not too far back. I have the holes drilled. If you're curious, they're 1/2 inch in, 1 1/4 inch spacing. Then I put a little bit a 1/4 inch masonite spacer here, and I'm holding that on now. I'm basically going to center it between these two rivets that go to the upper skin, or lower skin in this case, and now I have to basically match drill these going across, and then make a template, paper or plastic or something, that I can transfer onto the top of the skin using these rivet holes existent, which are already in the skin, as a reference line. All right, so that's where it's going. Get a couple of 41 rivets here, and max tip is basically, I don't know if you do the calculations, that's how far back the actual tip of the pitot tube can sit, but we're going to have it closer to here. It's got to be within the first 25% of the cord, and yeah, that came out really cool. Proud of myself. So what I did is I cut a piece of cardboard that's exactly this with, I'm going to use the edge here as a reference, and basically drilled these holes out, clecoed them in, took a magic marker from underneath and drew these. I undersized all these are only 40s, so I'm hoping to perforate through the top skin with this being clecoed in and get it all to line up. Fingers crossed. There it is. So these were originally drilled with number 40s, then I reamed them out to 30s, clecoed them in, and traced that, and just kept filing it till I have an even gap all the way around. That will get screwed in through these 3/16 or whatever they are. But the Pitot mount bracket is done, so I'm pretty happy with that. Here you can see the hole. I literally just hand filed it, so you can see I drilled a hole here with the unibit, a hole here with the unibit, air saw left, air saw right, and then just finished it off by, I don't know, sandpaper. And today I was so excited because I had to order this little set from Aircraft Tool Supply, another 50 bucks, just to get this little rivet to squeezer to squeeze these flush rivets. But this is the Gretz Pitot tube mount, and I put the little nut plates on the corner, and I already had a test fit it. Again, I was so excited to try it that I forgot to videotape it. Record it. And yeah, had that in there. So next step is basically put the tank supports in, cleco the whole wing, and rivet. Fun. Well, that's that lovely task of match drilling each one of these holes. I started from the center, worked my way out with every second one, and then went through and drilled all the in-between ones. And that concludes this fabulous task of match drilling the leading edge. Tomorrow we will, or whenever I resume, I think it'll be tomorrow, we're gonna lift these up, take everything, clean it out, deburr it all, and countersink them. 120 degree dimple die, chink 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 all the way across, countersink the bottom, and fun. I wanted to point out before I take all of the clecos out that I got the proper screws for the Pitot tube mount, and I feel it's very rigid forward and backward, but it's a little flimsy left to right. So I think before I finish this off, I'm going to look in to see if I can get a brace, maybe a piece of angle aluminum to connect from this rib to this rib, kind of like the Vans does it, and that should alleviate that. I'll look into that. So I thought the camera was running when I was building my little bracket. I'll show it in a minute, but I basically take a little piece of angle aluminum and I ran it from here to over to this rib or close to it. And again, I was happy with this strength, but this was awfully flimsy, and this really made it solid. And obviously I only have a couple of clicos in there holding it, but it made a significant difference that I think once the rest of it's riveted together, it's worth doing. I'll show it to you in a second. I don't know if you can see, but this is the bracket that goes across, and right now I only have one clico at the far end. I'm going to measure how the spacing is. The stringer from the factory is basically, I believe, every 2 inches. So I'll probably do something similar to that. But I also need to put a little spacer in there. I got some extra 40 thousandths. So I'm gonna do that. Pitot tube bracket. Basically I just connected the line. This is underneath. The bracket is up in there. I don't know if you can see it. I modified it a little bit, put some cool angles on it. Drilled these out, 40,000, 40th drill, number 40 drill bit. Clicoed them in, and then I'm gonna now open them up to number 30. And I also made this little spacer here. That's gonna be between the bracket and the skin to simulate the bracket I made for the Garmin, the Gretz Pitot tube holder. So basically match drill this to the bracket, take that out, match drill the bracket to this. It should fit. All right, put all the clicos in. Basically just match drilled it with a number 40 drill bit, like I said, reamed it out to a 30. Put those in, and I got the little spacer, I don't know if you can see in there. And that's what the Pitot mount looks like from underneath. Hope it's legit. Got the Pitot tube mount in there, and I figured out that I'm gonna need the 42s because of the thickness of the 20 skin. The 40 and the 40 of my brace underneath is 0.1, and I had ordered a couple extra. So we're gonna use that and to secure that to it. So today's mission is, I didn't work this weekend. Today's mission is to basically just start riveting. Before I do that, I put myself a note just to make sure it's level one last time, which it should be because it hasn't moved. And And just like that, it's past my bedtime again. But I actually got everything done up until the last 4 rows, which you have to leave undone anyway to match drill this. So pretty happy about that. I have one there. You can see that rivet. You can fit a nail under it. I have no idea how that happened. Maybe I fell off my milk crate or something, but yeah. So I put a piece of tape on it. Probably redo that one. And yeah, the next plan will be to match drill the trailing edge spar. Take these clecos out, not the ones for the access panel, but yeah, these ones here. Lift it up, clean it out, and then finish that. Hopefully we'll be able to do that tomorrow. Let's see how it goes. Good night. It's the next day, and I'm going to double check one more time per the instructions if there's any twist in the wing from here to there. Everything up until now has been within a 0.05 degrees, which I think is probably just the inaccuracy of my little gauge. Yeah, so we're going to check one more time that it doesn't have a twist. We'll remove all the clecos that are in the ribs. No, we're going to leave the clecos in. We're going to match drill all this, take them out, then clean them, and then rivet the rest of it. And that's it. I don't know if you can see this all the way down here, but I had to put it on video because it's actually perfect. So it's 0.65 degrees. Watch it be different this time, but I did it like 3 times and it was 0.65. Look at that. So that means we have no twist. And if you're wondering what I have set up, I have it sitting on the rear spar directly, and then I have a piece of exact, pretty accurate, very accurate, 3/4 inch mahogany right at the edge of the forward wing skin on both sides. Most accurate way I could think of doing it. I suppose I could just set this, but then you're, you know, dependent on if there's a little pillowing in the sheet itself, in the aluminum skin itself. So this way it only touches here, and it touches at the very front edge with a 3/4 inch spacer. And I have the other wing, I believe, was exact 2, or maybe within 0.01 degree. It was very close. So I think I have enough time left, so I'm not going to show me drilling all of this. Plus dinner is ready. I'll be back. Alright, be glad that I didn't bore you with all of this riveting, because it seemed to take forever. Yeah, that, or I'm just slow. But that's done, and I also replaced that bad one, that crooked one I had over there. And I'm going to call it a night. Tomorrow we'll put in the inspection plates, rivet those in, and we'll start thinking about the fuel tanks. Tonight's going to be an early night. Well, I'm going to go upstairs and work. I'm going to maybe update the EAA builder's log. This wing is done. Got all the inspection thingalings riveted in. And yeah, the fuel tank is next, so I started looking into what's involved in doing that. But I think I'm going to, like I said, update the EAA online builder's log before I get too far behind, and maybe upload a video if I have enough time. Alrighty.